welcome back. Please, the video for part 1 would have been very long, so we have decided to now call this part 2. Okay, please. So we just continue from question 15 where we stopped. Question 15, we have a 5,2 times 15,8. Okay, that's question 15. This will be 5 factorial over 5 minus 2 factorial 2 factorial times 15 factorial over 15 minus 8 factorial 8 factorial. This is all the questions you will see in now part 3. The word problems. Let's now call that one part 3 rather than part 2. I've already done it, and I did it with the calculator on my machine. Yeah, that's much more easier. But this is just for you to show your work in case your professor or your instructor wants you to show your work. So we now call this part 2, and that one will now be part 3, the one I already posted. So this will now be 5 factorial over 3 factorial 2 factorial times 15 factorial over 7 factorial 8 factorial. Right? So we'll stop at 3 here and we'll stop at 8 here. So this is 5 times 4 times 3 factorial over 3 factorial times 2 times 1. Let's just do times 2 times 1. Times 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 factorial over 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 8 factorial. Okay, let's cross out. Well, we know 3 is gone here. 7 times any of them, no. Okay, 8 is gone here. 6 times 3, 18, no. 5 times 3, 15. So 5 and 3, 15, gone. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, didn't work. 2 times 2 is 4 times 6, 24. Okay, 7 times 2 is 14. So we can do 7 and 2. 7, 2, 14. That's done. So we have 2, 6, and 4 in the denominator. 6 times 2, 12. Okay, 2 and 6. 2, 6, 12. Gone. So we now have only 4. Yeah, 4 can go here. 4, 4. Bam. That's gone. So what we got now, folks, we have 5 times 13 times 11 times 10 times 9. Okay? 5 times 13 times 11 times 10 times 9. 5 times 13 times 11 times 10 times 9. And that gives us 64350. That's it. 64350. Okay? That is for question 15. Question 16. Question 16, we kind of have to do it, let's do 3. We will still do the parentheses. Okay? But let's see whether we can multiply and cross out all those stuff first. And then we now do the parentheses, add it up, and then we now multiply later on. So 4,3 times, let's do the multiplication first. 4,2 times 9,5. 9,5. Let's do that one first, okay? I know that in PEMDAS you do the parentheses first, I know that. Yeah, but let's fix this one first. It doesn't matter because that one will still be multiplication anyway. This is a 4 factorial over 4 minus 3 factorial, 3 factorial, then times 4 factorial over 4 minus 2 factorial, 2 factorial, times 9 factorial over 9 minus 5 factorial, 5 factorial. So this is a 4 factorial over 1 factorial, 3 factorial, times 4 factorial over 2 factorial, 2 factorial, times 9 factorial over 4 factorial, 5 factorial. Excuse me. Okay, let's see what we can cross out right away so we don't waste time. 4 factorial, that's gone, period. Now you can't do this, 2 factorial times 2 factorial, 4 factorial. No, you can't do that. Remember we said that in part 1. We said it in part 1. 2 factorial times 2 factorial will not give you 4 factorial. Please do not be tempted to do that. We said it in part 1. So this will be 4 times 3 factorial over 3 factorial, because 1 factorial is 1, times, we stop at 5 here, okay? We can just put this as 1, it doesn't matter. 1 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial over 5 factorial. Okay, bam, bam, that's gone. Bam, bam, that's gone. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so we can now cross out. But that this is 4 because it's 4. Remember the 3 factorial has crossed out. So what we got now, we have 9 times 8 times 7 times 6. Okay, we can leave out multiplying it first. Let's do this parenthesis, and maybe something might cross out, who knows. 5 come 1. 5 come 1 plus 3 come 1. 3 come 1. Right? 5 come 1 plus 3 come 1. Okay, let's do the parenthesis now. So if we do it, 5 come 1 will be 5 factorial over 1 factorial, 4 factorial. I don't want to skip steps. Plus 3 come 1. 3 factorial over 3 minus 1 factorial, 1 factorial. Okay? This is 1, don't mind me. 1 factorial. Right? So this will be 5 factorial over 4 factorial, 1 factorial, plus 3 factorial over 2 factorial, 1 factorial. Okay? So that is 5 times 4 factorial over 4 factorial. 1 factorial is 1. Remember, 0 factorial is 1. 1 factorial is 1, and the rest of them. Okay? Then plus 3 times 2 factorial over 2 factorial. Okay. So 5 plus 3 is what? 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. So what do we have here? We now have 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 8. Okay? 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 8. 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 8. And that is 24192. That becomes the answer. 24192. 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 8. Okay? Alright. Question 17. 17 is 15 come 4. This is 15 factorial over 15 minus 4 factorial, 4 factorial. Right? Let's check this again to make sure we are correct. We are correct. So this is 15 factorial over 11 factorial, 4 factorial. So this is 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 factorial over 11 factorial times 4 times 3 times 2. Right? Okay, let's cross out. Bam, bam, that's gone. 4 and 3 is 12. Bam, bam, that's gone. 2 into 2 is 1. 2 into 14 is 7. 7. So we have 15 times 7 times 13. 15 times 7 times 13. Gives us 1365. 1365. Okay? That's question 17. Question 18, we're getting there. We are 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 getting there. Question 18 is 1 times 14 come 3. I mean times. 1 times that is still that. Okay? So 14 come 3 is 14 factorial over 14 minus 3 factorial, 3 factorial. Right? So that is 14 factorial over 11 factorial, 3 factorial. Which gives us 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 factorial over 11 factorial times 3 times 2. So we have bam, bam, that's gone. 3 times 2 is 6. So 3 and 2 is 6, gone. Then 6 into 12 is 2. So I have 14 times 13 times 2. Okay? 14 times 13 times 2. 364. 364. Okay? Question 19. Probably the longest. I don't know. Now, we are going to do it step by step. We will do it step by step. It's not difficult because you will get a word problem like this when you view part 3 of the video. That is where we did the word problems. So you will get it like that. Let's do the first one. 6 come 1 times 9 come 3. Okay, so that gives us 6 factorial over. Let's now increase our speed. Okay, let's increase our speed a little bit. 6 minus 1, we know is 5 factorial, 1 factorial. Times 9 factorial over 9 minus 3 is 6 factorial, 3 factorial. Okay, but if you think that I'm rushing, I'll just do it like this. So you don't say, hey, Mr. C is rushing. 6 minus 1 factorial, then 1 factorial, then 9 minus 3 factorial, 3 factorial. Okay, so we now have 6 factorial over 5 factorial, 1 factorial times 9 factorial over 6 factorial, 3 factorial. So this is 6 times 5 factorial over 5 factorial. 1 factorial is still the same thing. Times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 factorial over 6 factorial times 3 times 2. 3 times 2. Okay. Bam, that's gone. Bam, bam, that's gone. 3 and 2. 3 into 3 is 1. 3 into 9 is 3. Then 2 into 2 is 1. 2 into 8 is 4. So what do we have? 6 times 3 times 4 times 7. 6 times 3 times 4 times 7. Gives us what? 18 times 28. 504. The first one is 504, we keep it. We do the second one, 6 come 2 times 9 come 2. So this is 6 factorial over 6 minus 2 factorial, 2 factorial, okay, times 9 factorial over 9 minus 2 factorial, 2 factorial, okay. So this will be 6 times 5 times 4, 6 factorial over 4 factorial, 2 factorial, times 9 factorial over 7 factorial, 2 factorial. This is 6 times 5 times 4 factorial over 4 factorial times 2, then times 9 times 8 times 7 factorial over 7 factorial times 2. Right? Alright, let's cancel out. 4 factorial, that's gone. 7, that's gone. 2 times 2 is 4. Right? So we just do 2 times 2 is 4. And if it crosses out 8, it becomes 2. 2. So that will be 6 times 5 times 9 times 2. 6 times 5 times 9 times 2. And that is the 30 times 18. 540. 540. Okay, 540. Next one. We have a 6 come 3 times 9 come 1. Okay? So what does it give us now? 6 factorial over 6 minus 3 factorial, 3 factorial, times 9 factorial over 9 minus 1 factorial, 1 factorial. And that gives us what? 6 factorial over 3 factorial, 3 factorial, times 9 factorial over 8 factorial, 1 factorial. Okay? So, this is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 factorial over 3 factorial times 3 times 2 times 9 times 8 factorial over 8 factorial. Right? So this will be what? Bam, bam, this goes. 3 and 2, bam, bam, that goes. Bam, bam, that goes. So that will be 5 times 4 times 9. 20 times 9 is what? 180. Okay? 180. And then the last one here on this 19, so we can now add them up. We have 6 come 4 times 9 come 0. Hey, part of the formula we did, I hope you know the formula we did. The formula we did, we said that 6 come 4 is the same as 6 come 2. Remember, in part 1, n come r is equal to n come n minus r. Remember, that was what we did. So if you say 6 come 4 is the same thing as 6 come 2, is the same thing. And the 9 come 0 is the same thing as 9 come 9. Oh, we didn't do 9 come 9, yeah, okay, that's fine. But 9 come 0 should give us 9 come 9, which is 1. 6 come 4, where did we get here? Is 6 come 2, so we save time. That will be 6 times 5 over 2. Right? 6 times 5 over 2. That's 15. 15. Because this 6 times 5, 4 factorial, over 2. 2 into 6 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 15. Okay, so this is 15 times 1, and that is 15. Yeah, because 9 comes 0. 9 comes 0 is a 9 factorial over 9 minus 0 factorial, 0 factorial, which is 9 factorial over 9 factorial, 0 factorial. Okay? And 0 factorial is 1. 0 factorial is 1. Okay? So that is 1 over 1, which is 1. So let's add this up. Let's now add it up. Let's add it up. 504 plus 540 plus 180 plus 15 gives us what? For question 19. 504 plus 540 plus 180 plus 15 gives us 1239. 1239. Okay. All right. Now let's do. Yeah. If you have 9 come 0 is same as 9 come 9, which is 1. 2 come 2, 1. 3 come 3, 1. 4 come 4, 1. 5 come 5, 1. 6 come 6, 1. Mr. C come Mr. C, 1. All right. Let's do question 20. We're almost getting here to the end of this. 20 come 18 is what? 20 come 18 plus 20 come 19 plus 20 come 20. Okay, 20 come 18 is 20 factorial over 20 minus 18 factorial, 18 factorial plus 20 factorial over 20 minus 19 factorial, 19 factorial plus 1. Plus 1. So that is 20 factorial over 2 factorial, 18 factorial plus 20 factorial over 1 factorial, 19 factorial plus 1. Right? Okay. Let's finish this up. So, if we finish it up, what do we have? We now have a 20 times 19 times 18 factorial over 2 times 1 times 18 factorial plus 20 times 19 factorial over 19 factorial plus 1. Okay? So, bam, that's gone. 2 into 2 is 1. 2 into 20 is 10. 10. Then, bam, that's gone. So, 10 times 19 is 190 plus 20 plus 1. 1, 1, 2. 211. 211. 211. 211. Okay, now from 21 to 25, I would like you to pay big attention. It's not difficult. I mean, we will use the formulas I gave you, those formulas I gave you in part 1. So, those formulas will not come to play here. Formulas I gave you in part 1, it will come to play here. 21. N palm 1. N palm 1. Okay, so this is permutation. This is n factorial over n minus 1 factorial. Right? Now remember the formula I gave you about n factorial. Remember that it is what? N times n minus 1 factorial all over n minus 1 factorial. Remember that because I gave you that formula on part 1. Okay? So you can now do bam, and the answer is what? N. N becomes your answer. Okay? So this tells you if you have 5 palm 1 is 5. 6 palm 1, 6. 7 palm 1, 7. 8 palm 1, 8. 9 palm 1, 9. 10 palm 1, 10. Mr. C palm 1, Mr. C. Okay? Alright folks, let's continue. Now, this is a 22. K palm 2. K palm 2. K palm 2 is gonna be what? We're gonna still use the formula. Okay? This is what? K factorial over K minus 2 factorial. And remember the formula I gave you in part 1? N factorial is n times n minus 1 factorial. N factorial is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial. N factorial is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3 factorial. N factorial is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3 times n minus 4 factorial. And so on and so forth. So this is k times k minus 1 times k minus 2 factorial over k minus 2 factorial. Okay? Bam! Right? So the answer is what? K times k minus 1. Answer. That's it. K times k minus 1. Alright. Question. Oh, I still have some of the formulas from part 1 here. Question 23. Question 23. 4 comma R. 4 comma R. 4 comma R. So this is what? 4 factorial over 4 minus R factorial. R factorial. If you look at this now, is there any way we can, we don't even know what arrow is, you know, is there any way we can simplify this further? That's what you ask yourself. Is there any way you can simplify it further? Because 4 factorial is 4 times 4 minus 1 factorial, okay, which is 4 times 3 factorial. But you still don't know what R is, so just leave your answer like this. Yeah, just leave your answer like this. Yeah, that. Okay. 24. 24. We have n palm n minus 2. N palm n minus 2. So what is this now? This is n factorial over n minus 2 factorial. Let's put this factorial. You see what I just did now? Okay, so what would this be now? This would be n factorial over n minus n plus 2. All of them factorial. Right? So this will be what? N factorial over 2 factorial. Okay? Which is now what? N factorial over 2 times 1. Which is n factorial over 2. N factorial over 2. I mean, and if you want, you can call this, if you want, you can also call this, 4 factorial is what? Is 24 times 3. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 4 minus r factorial. So this can be 4 times 3, 12 times 2, 24 over 4 minus r factorial. I mean, it's still okay. It's still okay. So n factorial over 2. Alright, the last but not the least, 25. N minus 2. Hey folks, I think I gave you a formula for comb and palm, right? We did a formula for comb and palm in part 1. Can you remember that? Can you remember the formula? We say that n palm r is equal to r factorial times n palm r. Remember? Okay? So, here we have n palm n minus 2. So, let's do this. Let's do 25. Let's see whether we can do 25 two ways. Okay? Let's see whether we can do 25 two ways. First way, let's try to do it by the definition of what combination formula is. And second way, let's see whether we can do it by this. Okay? Let's do this second way. Then let's do first way with the definition of comb. Let's use this as first way and see what we can get. R factorial. Because since we have 24, okay, since we have 24 to give us that n palm n minus 2. So now if we do this 25 first, if we use it by definition like this will be n factorial over, let's put a parenthesis, n minus 2 factorial times n minus 2 factorial, right? Okay, so this will give us n factorial over, of course this is n minus n plus 2, all factorial, right, times n minus 2 factorial. So this will give us n factorial over, this is 2 factorial times n minus 2 factorial. Alright, let's finish that. We now see, of course, from what we've established in part 1, that this will now be what? N factorial over 2 factorial times n minus 2 factorial. So this will be n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial over 2 times 1 times n minus 2 factorial. And we can do bam, that's gone. So this will be n times n minus 1 over 2. That's the answer. Okay, but now this is the first method. Now let's do this up. Let's see whether we can do this another way. If we can, from this way, from this formula we established also in part 1, we see that n com r is equal to n palm r over r factorial. So that would be, if we have n com n minus 2, it is n palm n minus 2 over n minus 2 factorial. Okay, are you with me? So that would be, this is all. That would be, this is n factorial over 2 divided by n minus 2 factorial. Okay? Because this is, because I would like to skip steps here because some folks will have questions. This is n palm n minus 2 divided by n minus 2 factorial. Is that right? So this will be n factorial over 2 divided by n minus 2 factorial. Let's convert our division to multiplication. So if we do that, what do we have? This will be n factorial over 2 times 1 over n minus 2 factorial. So now this will give us what now? From here, this will give us, it will give us n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial over 2 times n minus 2 factorial. And then what do you have? N times n minus 1